We OG, we OG. Oh no, G. You're not bullish enough. Yeah. Oh no, you're not bullish enough. You ain't got the oh no. I get stoned by the bolo. Bitcoin set to overload. Yeah. Experts on reload. Yeah. You're not bullish enough. Yeah. Oh no, you're not bullish enough. You ain't got the oh no. I get stoned by the bolo. Bitcoin set to overload. Experts on reload. Mempool getting hot. Everybody wanna rock. Ayy. Runes is coming, everybody on a knot, ayy. It's a nuisance, Ordinal Revolution, ayy. Ordinal Revolution. Yo, is my guy for real, bro? Got friends right now. Yo, BRC 420, bro.
Yeah.
Yo, that shit on fire, bro. Imagine if he in here. Yeah, like it in the steel. Murder. I got balls of steel. Nukies on the field. Yeah, this shit for real. With no calls, I get so far. Got 100 phone calls that I go hard, and they gon' love me. Smoke weed, huddle back. I get shiesty. Where my Bitcoin looking lovely. All this Satoshi's nothing above me. Bitcoin's alive, what you gon' do? Mempool fees are high. Ordinal. Where does it stop? Nobody knows. It's a revolution, ayy. Bitcoin is the one, no substitution, ayy. With Shizzy and Yagobi, it's Ordinal Revolution.
Welcome back to Ordinal Revolution. My name is Shizzy. On this channel, we cover the entire Bitcoin Ordinal ecosystem. What is up, guys? We're back for another Ordinal hour, and it's going to be absolutely amazing. I was out the last 2 days, and I just want to thank J25. He came in, and he put on an amazing show. I watched the show later yesterday, and I was like blown away. J25 is legit amazing at this, man. Amazing at this. And guys, I obviously still don't have my setup yet. I'll be back Monday. We're going to leave the shore tomorrow. I'll be back normal. I got so much content ideas, man. I'm just sitting down here and like, we can do this, we can do that. So we have so much for you guys coming in the next couple of weeks. It's going to be absolutely amazing. We might have a special guest today. I don't know if he's going to join, but just giving you guys that little warning now. It could get really fun and really exciting later. We got a lot of amazing topics to talk about. The mining profitability is at lowest in a long time. We're going to talk about that. Gold, of all things, is at an all-time high. Mt. Gox finally almost done selling. They're about 78% done. Well, not done distributing to the holders. A lot of them are still holding, honestly. So we got a bunch of stuff to get into. Runecoin and LMXC. There's a new wallet in town, and it has a very big name behind it. So we got a lot of things to talk about. So without further ado, I'm bringing my partner here. As always, Mr. Yagobi. What's up, buddy?
What's up, man? I missed it. I missed that introduction of my UFC introduction. Haven't had it in a while, so it feels good.
Yeah, man, dude. I actually can't wait to get back at it. Dude. I can't wait to get my setup back and my green screen back. Dude, I'm missing it. We've been here for about 7 days. Tomorrow will be 7 days. And I can't wait to just be home. I don't know how people just do these long vacations. I can't wait to get home.
Yeah, I'm just like that. I'm sure once I'm in Singapore, I'm going to probably on day 2 already miss my house. It's just a comfort feeling of being home in your, comfortable surroundings and all that stuff. But, we got to live life. You got to do things. You got to move and shake some things up. So everything will be fine.
Yeah, man. So we have a lot to talk about here. So kind of just jump right into things. This is something interesting that I saw. Profitability of Bitcoin mining has dropped to an all-time low in early August. This is according to JP Morgan. So what this basically means that the miners that are mining the Bitcoin are just not, they're paying more in hash power and electricity bills than they are getting in the Bitcoin value. Obviously, a lot of them are not selling. We've seen, I think it was Mara came out and they sold stock to buy Bitcoin. So you can just kind of see where we're at in the cycle. Normally Bitcoin doesn't hit an all-time high until this happens, right? This happens every 4 years and right around the same time.
Yeah, and it almost seems like the people that know what's going to happen, that have been in this like templated 4-year cycle before, they're preparing, right? And I'm not just talking about the miners, but that is a good point about Mara purchasing Bitcoin. Not even like just saying, okay, we're just gonna, save all our Bitcoin that we're mining. We're gonna go out there and we're gonna buy at these prices. Why?
Yeah.
They're buying for a reason, right? While the United States and China are selling, which I feel like there's a whole nother scheme behind that, but we can get into that on another day. But you have Mara that's buying Bitcoin, and then all of a sudden you have some of these larger, like non-mining companies, but larger institutional entities in our space, like Coinbase,
Yeah.
roll things out, announce things that they're rolling out that is involved with Bitcoin's ecosystem and stuff like that. Why are they announcing these things now? Probably because them and the miners and people in the know are preparing for a run up, possibly in the later part of Q4. That's my speculation,
Yeah.
but we'll see.
And I honestly think some of these miners, they have these board meetings, right? And I'm guarantee you with these board meetings, ordinals come up, loans come up, transaction fees come up. I guarantee it. And they're all thinking of ways, scheming behind the scenes. And I think we're going to see something soon. I think we're going to see something from these mining companies to try to push something. And I think it's going to be within the next couple months too. You're going to see every single mining project, mining company is going to have an ordinal project. I can almost guarantee it. It's stupid not to, right? So you put out an artwork, this is our artwork, this is our, we're gonna pay an artist, get these out, just to kind of create some traction, create new products
Buzz.
to potentially sell to, and buzz as well. And they're companies. They need to show the shareholders profitability.
Yeah, so I think that there's probably some pushback with their boards and stuff, but they've probably been convinced to the point to where they're like, hey, look, this is a 4-year cycle, it's inevitable, right? To where alt season does, amazing, crazy things. And they've probably been convinced to allocate a certain amount of, risk budget that they're willing to do, and I do probably, I believe that is happening right now. They're probably not going to go like face first diving in, but they're going to have some exposure, is my guess. And this was something that was never discussed in the last cycle.
Yeah.
They're just like Bitcoin only and stuff like that. We're going to see a little bit of traditional entities, I believe, get a little bit dip their toes in the risk game, but it's going to be on the Bitcoin side. Bitcoin,
100%.
my opinion.
Yeah, and speaking of that, like I think that one of the projects miners can hold is, you buy this ordinal for us, and this ordinal gives you a certain amount of hash power, which we send that while holding that ordinal to Bitcoin. Obviously, right now with Gary Gensler and the restrictions that we have, it's going to be tough. But with Trump and Kamala both coming out being Bitcoin friendly, this is something that's probably going to happen, right? I mean,
Yeah.
how easy for them to? I mean, I would buy a Mara ordinal that gives me, a little bit of hash rate, right? They just to that ordinal.
Definitely would go with like a Mara ordinal that is willing to do a revenue share versus like some spun up mining project that says they're gonna, what I'm saying, because Mara has more of the
Yeah.
brand power and trustability. But I think that to have something like that, you're probably gonna have to, I don't know, convince a lot of the board members, right? Because now you're talking about some sort of revenue share. Does that
It's
ordinal
not revenue share though.
become
Like,
a
so when I'm thinking about, you use the money that you're getting from selling the ordinals to buy their own hash machines, and you're just giving, you're just basically
based off
feeding
of
it
the
out. And
yeah
what you're getting in return is you're getting network fees. You're
so
building the
sure
ecosystem.
I don't know if that benefit really outweighs, what I mean, like they're gonna have to really have a ton of those machines running and a lot of volume. Now if it's something that becomes contagious amongst the mining companies, then yeah, you
Yeah.
could see that happening, right?
Yeah.
But it's just going to be something tricky. I don't know if it's going to be that way. We have seen a public company that has done something to where they're trying to give back to the users and stuff. We haven't seen how much they're going to scale that out, but it is in operation today. I don't want to bring it up because I don't know exactly how the details work with that, but we do know that there's something right now live with a public traded mining company. Now it's on the smaller end, but we'll see. I think that's a good testing application and product to see if this could work on a larger scale.
Yeah, 100%. All right, moving on here. Gold hits new record high of $2,492. What does this mean? Gold is a risk-off asset. That's what they call it. They put this up there with bonds. Bonds aren't doing as well as gold. Why do you think gold is sitting at an all-time high and Bitcoin and bonds and stocks aren't? Well, I guess S&P is, because S&P is nearing it as well.
Well, I think first of all, this means that you're going to probably see a lot of Peter Schiff on your timeline. So get ready for a gold member to come back and talk about how much he loves gold and how much Bitcoin is what he thought it was, even though he's completely wrong because he told you guys not to buy Bitcoin in 2013 when it was super cheap. But when it comes to gold has been so established at this point that it's not really looked at as a speculative asset, really. So Bitcoin is still, as far as Bitcoin has gone in terms of, been giving the stamp of approval by a lot of pundits and people in the investment sector, it's still fighting through some of the, deniers, right? Like Peter Schiff and some of these other people, Peter Schiff, sorry. And until it gets fully mainstream adoption, like right now we have number 7 US, number 8 China as the ranking in the how much Bitcoin entities and countries hold. Those need to move up, and more nation states need to get in that top 10. That's whenever I think you'll have something similar to like how gold reacts. And we're also fighting through Mount Gox offloading finish, and then also the US being really smart about selling Bitcoin. Obviously, I'm being sarcastic there.
Well, that kind of leads us right into this. Might as well just jump right into it. So Mount Gox and US selling is the last pressure there is before the next leg up, and the Mount Gox sell pressure is coming close to an end. 78% of their BTC were already distributed to creditors in the past few weeks. Most probably everything else will be vested until the end of the month. So they're basically saying there's about 22% left. I think it's around 30,000 Bitcoin that are left, and they'll probably be, completely out by the end of the month, which is pretty big. So, what do you think about this last final boss? And then the U.S. has to come in during this, right? Just to kind of be. It's kind of like when you're fighting the end of like a video game, and then the boss just gets bigger for the last a couple minutes of the fight. So it kind of feels like that.
Yeah, and I have some speculation as to what the U.S. and China is probably doing. They, want to assist in bringing the Bitcoin price down some before the rise up, because you have to think about this. As the U.S. is selling some Bitcoin, who's buying Bitcoin right now? Yeah. It's the Morgan Stanleys, the BlackRocks, their ETFs are coming in with higher volume every day, and so there's entities, TradFi entities buying. So it's not like everybody's just dumping. There are headlines of Mount Gox finishing out their sell pressure, and then the U.S. kind of jumping on top of that. But what happens if the price goes down? Then who gets to buy in cheap? Politicians do, right? Like individual politicians within the government. That goes for U.S. and China or whoever else, right? So this, I'm not saying, obviously this is speculation. I'm wearing my tinfoil hat this morning, but you always have to think, if they're selling and these big TradFi brands are buying, that doesn't make sense, right? So they're I think someone's trying to get cheap prices right now.
It's 100%. I completely agree. I think the Germany selling was pushed by big people giving the people in charge some money to do so. And what that does is it dumps the price for a little while, and you saw it get down to 49,000 when Germany was doing it, right? And now we're probably going to see a 52K again, so they can get in. But that's what the big boys do. They don't buy tops. they buy dips and they buy massive dips, and this is going to be probably another one. We're probably going to see 52,000 again until the U.S. is 100. What is it? 100,000 Bitcoin still, right? That's a lot of Bitcoin has to potentially go into the market, and it's again, it's like a bigger boss than the Mt. Gox one, but it is what it is, and it's something we're going to have to deal with. But we're patient. We can be stupid, right? As long as they can, just keep dishing them out. So we'll keep buying and we'll keep DCAing. We'll just keep building heads down. That's what our builders here in Ordinals and stuff is doing. So this isn't anything to be worried about. This isn't anything to be afraid. This isn't nothing. This is just a blip
Status
on the
quo.
radar. It's another red dot that's going to be a little bit lower on Plan B's chart before we see some price action in the next couple months. But I want to hit on this. I'll let you hit on this real quick.
Yeah, well, I was just gonna say that you got to, like, our perception of Bitcoin right now is going to be skewed. And like, if you think about gold, a lot of people think of gold as kind of boring at this point in its life cycle, right? But that doesn't mean it isn't a good investment. A lot of people, I think, that are smart in our space would say gold is a solid investment, right? But if you go back to 2004, whenever the gold ETF got added, I'm sure there was a bunch of excitement about gold then, right? Like, okay, like, these TradFi entities are buying gold ETF. That's a way to have exposure without holding gold bars and blah, 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 right? And so I just think Bitcoin is in that phase to where, this is you still have the opportunity before Bitcoin gets boring, is my point. So, all the alt season and stuff will benefit from it. And that's another thing too. We don't, I want to do some research back then and see how some of the other precious metals benefited from when gold ETF actually launched. So that would be really interesting. And maybe we can talk about that maybe next week.
Yeah, sounds good. Jumping in here. So Bit Harrington, big Bitcoin guy. He said after having 2016, it took 8 months to get a new high. After having 2020, it took 8 months to get a new all-time high. So we had it all-time high in March, maybe April. But now it actually might have been February, I can't remember. But now we are sitting not there anymore. Do we get back we'll take the full 8 months after having, which brings us to December, before we see another all-time high of 74,000.
I think so. I think, here's the thing is that, well, the problem is that, the holiday season typically will benefit from, a crypto run up if the year is it's a correct year for that, right? And last year, I think because, we were getting out of that bear market, we experienced some euphoria. But if you look from an outside perspective, Bitcoin, what was it in December? What was it, like 40 something thousand?
No, it was lower than that. It was in the 30s.
Okay, so but we experienced a good run up in our ecosystem, right?
Yeah.
And so I think that, this holiday season, we will experience a good Bitcoin run up and alt season run up. Does that mean that it's going to be like 2017? I don't know. Or 2021? I don't know. Maybe not, but still, like, I think we have an opportunity to hit a new all-time high, but it won't be that crazy one, because then we have 2025 to really play, right? And that's the year that typically the post-halving year is the year that things go bonkers, or at least that's what we experienced the past two cycles. So if I actually think in December, we could get like a little bit lower than six figures. So maybe like 90,000, 95,000 in December of this year. And then kind of pull back a little bit. And then 2025 is whenever it's like game on. Is it going to be in the spring of 2025? It's going to be in the fall of 2025, right? To where we see that big, the Plan B explosion of Bitcoin.
And that's the thing. You got to remember too, by the end of November, all the uncertainty is going to be gone. We're going to know who the president is. We're going to know
that's a big deal.
If the wars continue. We're going to know if we get, stimulus. We're going to know a lot of things in November. We're going to know what the interest rates are in November and what they're going to, right? We're going to know a lot of stuff. So I think November is going to be a good takeoff month for us. I think we hit all-time highs, and when we do, I don't think it's going to be something that's anyone expects. I think it's going to shoot up because FOMO is going to kick in, and we're going to see numbers that people don't realize are going to happen. It's going to be fun. It's going to be fun to watch. And what that's going to do for us in our ecosystem in Ordinals, that's going to just send everything so far up that it's going to be pretty insane. And we felt that, like you said, last year. And then we felt it again in, I want to say, like March again. And it was absolutely insane. We saw puppets almost hit 0.5. You saw frogs almost hit 0.5 in last November, right? So it's going to get crazy again. Just be prepared for it. And I'm ready. I can't wait. So
I think we're all ready, right? But and the thing that caught us off guard last year was that we weren't expecting it. We weren't anticipating like this huge run up in our ecosystem heading into the fall, and we got it. And I think we deserved it because we were patient through the summer.
Yeah.
Here we are expecting it, so that's where I don't know. It could get tricky, but nevertheless, I do think like the election is a big thing that we need to get over, right? It's a big hump.
Yeah.
I feel like it's kind of suppressing Bitcoin a little bit. And you even saw the other day, 2 days ago, Runes had a little surge, and I feel like there's like pent up demand for it. But unless Bitcoin continues on with ascending price trajectory, Runes can't really. It gets bottled up, right? And so we need Bitcoin to kind of release the Kraken, if you will, and then that will open up our ecosystem, which everybody will be happy then.
100%. All right, let's jump into the Bitcoin fear and greed. I have not looked at this at all, so I have no idea where we're at today.
Do you want me? Yeah. So let me pull it up. Yep. Let me pull it up. So yesterday, J25 actually had some trouble with it too, and I was like, okay, good. It's not just me. All right. So yesterday it was 29. Last week it was 48.
That's low.
So what do you think it is today?
If yesterday was 29, I'm going to say 25.
All right, so close, 27.
Okay.
So yeah, it's 27. Let me share my screen so everybody can see it here. But yeah, we're at 27. And the weird thing is it's been, other than the last week number, which I don't really count because that's a little too far out. But I feel like the past couple days it's been consistently within a couple points. So that's one thing to where, and it makes no sense to me because if you go a week ago, it was like every day was like an 8 to 12 point spread down to 3 and all over the place. So, but not bad. You almost got it there.
We should take bets on that on Agora. Like what is the feed and greed, the Binance feed and greed, fear and greed,
feed and greed
be on the first of the month or something like that. That'd be a good bet.
Yeah, I just think I don't know, maybe but I think the turnaround time would be too quick. But maybe you could do
like an under over. You do under over.
Yeah, you could do under over, or you could do a 2 days out or something like that. Yeah. But they actually put out, I think, the UFC event.
I seen that. I might take a bet on that.
Well, supposedly it's the highest that's been deposited. I think it's like 10 grand. Wow. So 10 grand has been deposited on that event. So it's going to be interesting with Agora. Look, they've been very consistent with their price points, but I think the biggest thing is going to be, can they get users and can they scale? Because they're the only predictions market on Bitcoin Layer 1 that's active right now.
Yep.
So we'll see.
All right, well, let's get into that Bitcoin price action by the great people at BitPerp. So let's
yes. The Bitcoin price action. Before we do that, guys, if you're on the YouTube side, please smash that like for us. It helps us a ton. And subscribe to our channel. If you're not subscribed, turn those notifications on so you know when we go live. And then on the Twitter side, guys, please share the space so we can educate as many people as possible. And we need to onboard as many people as possible. And Ernesto Gonzalez, thank you for the super chat here. We appreciate that. And I'm going to get the chart.
I'm going to read this real quick. Okay. I don't know if I'm going to be able to. The senor, the unique, the panther, the macho, Mr. Yagobi, businessman. No bullshit. Not bullshit enough on track, dudes. $25 on normal. I think me and you both said 30. But I think we're bullish enough on track. But thank you so much, Ernesto. People like you are the reason why we do this every single day, man. You're always here. You're dedicated. Thank you, sir.
Yes. Thank you for the support there. All right. As Shizzy mentioned, today's Bitcoin price action is brought to you by BitPerp, the premium perpetual DEX that's going to be launching on Botonics in Q4, which is the Bitcoin layer 2. They are going to be doing a paper trade competition, guys. That's going to be in about 2-3 weeks. We'll get more information for you as soon as we get it. But let's take a look at Bitcoin here. We are sitting at 57.8. It's not surprising. I've been kind of calling a chop. J25 and myself been calling chop back and forth for, let's say, the next week. I think that's what we're going to see. But you can see here that a bearish flag pattern has formed and is starting to play out. So let's see right here. You can see it built up and it's starting to play out. So I haven't really seen these on the 1 hour chart recently, the bear flags, but we are seeing it today. And I think it's going to continue, guys. Unfortunately, you can see here that the MACD buy pressure is starting to close up here. It's starting to weaken. You can see the stochastics really just kind of touched up here in the overbought and it's already back down. We're heading to oversold. So for the rest of the day, I actually see this dipping further down, possibly 57,000, high 56,000s. Around there is my call for the day. I do think that this bear flag will play fully out. I mean, it's kind of already played almost fully out. So maybe we get down here a little bit further and or maybe it dumps even harder. But like I said, my call is 56.5 to low 57,000. That is what I'm seeing for the second half of today. Probably not right, but that's what my guess is if I had to guess. And looking at the 8 hour chart, it's not that pretty either. It is not that pretty either. So you can see here, there's definitely this descending pattern forming here. You can see that we didn't even get to the overbought, but it makes sense because we were in overbought for a while. You can see since the 7th of August. So we're talking about 9 days and we never really reached the oversold. So we try to get back to overbought and now we're officially back in the oversold. So the sell pressure on the MACD doesn't, I mean, it's definitely pretty solid, but it doesn't look like super huge yet. But this could change. This could change, right? So if we do have some, more selling from the US, this could open up a bit. I'm not seeing any divergence here, not yet at least. I see the down line here on the price chart and then really kind of mimicking that. Now, if this bounces back up, we could possibly develop some early, bullish divergence, but I don't think so. I think, today, the rest of today is going to be a sell down. Like I said, it's 56.5 to 57,000, and it's going to continually contribute to the 8 hour chart, which will give us some more sell down. I know it's not great news for a Friday, but we shall see how this plays out. So for the rest of the week, I would say, guys, be prepared for possibly like 55,000, getting into that range. But as we know, Bitcoin has shown strength every time it's dipped down hard. And one thing that we did notice on the hour chart from the previous days before today was every time there was a descending triangle, there was a pop up, and that only happens 20 to 30% of the time. So there's definitely some built up demand for Bitcoin to kind of want to break out, but we got to see if it can withstand another kind of sell down, because that's what I'm seeing for the next week. Probably sell down to about 55,000.
Yeah, man. So the last 2 weekends in a row, we saw a sell-off on Sunday and a buyback on Monday. Do you think that repeats this week? Would I be safe to take a short today and then close it on Sunday and then go long?
I mean, the 8 hour chart is definitely showing that could be possible that we continue to sell down. Weekends are tricky, right? Because people are off, TradFi's off. They're not trying to do their PSYOP stuff. Market makers are always awake though. And so, they want to make their money. So that could be something that we see. Probably, if anything happens over the weekend, I think it would be a little tamer. So maybe brings the price down to 56.5 or something like that, and maybe a little chop. But look, it's been choppy the past 2 weeks, almost like this entire month. It's been choppy with a couple drawbacks, strong drawbacks with decent sized bounce backs. So like we draw back hard and then it takes us a couple days and then we touched 60 not long ago, right? So this is just really a professional trader scalping dream or market maker's dream, because people that aren't good at scalping are getting wrecked, probably leaving positions open too long, and market makers love that. So
I agree. Before we get in a roll call here, we got my boy Danny with a $28 donation. Thank you so much, Danny. You, sir,
appreciate
are
you,
amazing.
sir.
Thank you so much. But he says something in here. He's giving us a rune. He said, send
Uh-oh.
rune Pepe. Shout out to Danny. And then he comes up with this. He says, Nuki's called it. I bought it. So shout out to you, Danny. Look into that, guys. Let show Danny some love. Take a look at his rune. But thank you, sir.
Yeah.
I appreciate you, sir.
Yep. And shout out to the Nookies, our guys, Sam Sage, I think Spicy Mango is a part of that community.
Yeah.
So those guys, man, they are OGs. So if you join their space, you're gonna learn something, that's for sure.
100%. And then we got my man Nakib in the building. Shout out to Nakib, Ordzar, Odin Swap, the legend himself. We appreciate Nakib. Thank you for coming in, my friend. And go check out Odin Swap and go check out Ordzar. You guys will be very happy.
They need help. Odin Swap needs testers, guys. So go reach out to Nakib on X or the Odin Swap account and see how you can become a tester for Odin Swap.
Yep. And Danny says Ross. I guess
Free
that's
Ross.
another person that's in there. I think that's one of the community members in Nukies.
I just had
All right, guys.
I need to say Free Ross.
It's time for the roll call today. Let's pop Danny off.
Let's get it.
And let's get the roll call. So let me get my voice ready. This is always fun. We got first is first in here. We appreciate whoever is number one. And today it is Yasher. Yasher is always number one in my heart. One of my favorites. I love this guy. But a good day, you smart people. God bless you all. Shout out to Yasher, man. One of our mods, always taking care of us. Ordinals Chips is here. So Ordinal Revolution, we want to play. Ordinals Tweets is here. So Ordinals Chips and Ordinals Tweets. We get it all today. We got Danny Boy, of course. Danny Boy is a legend. He is pumping his rune for sure. Glasshopper is here. My boy No, he's in the building. No Limit Dude, Chain Watcher, Tim Baker, AODR, one of our mods. We appreciate you, my friend. Zahid is in the building. Sixes is here. Chief Axel is always here. Appreciate Chief Axel. And the legend himself, Mr. Sheedy, is in the building. He's a GM. Have a great day. Right after you smash that like button, please smash that like button. We will appreciate that. Thank you, Mr. Sheedy, for reminding the people. Mauricio Leo is in the building, followed by I Walk Alone. Thank you, I Walk Alone, man. You're always here. And Danny says, welcome back, Shizzy. Thank you, Danny. Thanks for having me back, my friend. Kai Effect is in the building. Green Man is here, the big goofy guy. Shout out to him. Always here nowadays. Patrick Nand is in the building. Shout out to Patrick. And Nakib, I think it's Nakib's first time making roll call. I appreciate that, Nakib.
For roll call? Yeah. But he's been in here before.
Oh, yeah, for sure. But roll call, that's something different. You make roll call, you make the first 30 minutes. You're a legend. Reziak is here. BitBam News. If you guys don't know, BitBam News, they put on a space every day. I think it's like 4 p.m. Eastern. But shout out to these guys, man. They are really keeping BitMap alive. So shout out to them. He says, GM, come to the BitMap Summit in El Salvador, October 24th. I'm going to El Salvador. I'm down.
October? Oh, man. I don't know, because I'll just be coming back from Singapore, and then you got Dubai in December. But hey, if the market is good, then I think we can go anywhere, right? So
we need that market to get good. That's what I keep saying. But all right, we got over 200 people in here, guys. Thank you guys so much for joining us on this Friday. Friday seems to be one of our lowest days, people-wise, but you guys are showing up every single day, and we appreciate that. But that is your roll call. And we're getting into some bitmap. We're getting into bitmap stuff. I don't think we have any bitmap stuff today, but we have Bitcoin ecosystem ordinal stuff, guys. We have one last comment. We'll get this one in. Jerry Saint Germain. Shout out to you. He says the money I made was buying Ordi this year. Yeah. You have a great show. Other YouTubers talking ERC20s tokens built on Ethereum. They need to all wake up and talk about ERC20s.
That's not what I'm talking about.
We got runes. We got everything over here, right? So, but 100% agree with you, Jerry Saint Germain. Appreciate you showing up, man. Thank you so much for being here today. And you just made roll call. Just made it. Shout out to you. Let's see. Let's get into some Bitcoin ordinals news here. Okay, the first one is MEXC official. Runecoin USDT will be listed. What took so long for MEXC? Runecoin was listed on OKX, listed in so many other places. Why is it? I mean, just getting. I think maybe the Runecoin people are like, oh crap, we forgot about Mexi after billion dollar cat joined it, right?
Yeah. Well, no, I think it's more of they probably Mexi probably was like, hey, let's make sure that they're still, dedicated to the project.
Yeah,
Runecoin devs came out this past week and a half. You know what? I feel like they were a little bit a part of this like rune like resurgence of energy. Oh, the rune coin, our RSIC coin is back. You know what I mean?
yeah,
And people got excited about that. So it looks like Mexi got excited about that, and they
yeah.
said they're gonna list them. So hey, there's certain projects I think in different ecosystems that if they show life, then it will help the remaining part of the ecosystem, and Runecoin is one of them, in my opinion.
100%. And you got to think too. Let's just say like you are an outsider looking in and you want some exposure. Runecoin is your exposure to runes, right? So I think it's genius way to name it. Great job by the guys at RSIC. But yeah, I mean, if I'm someone who doesn't understand ecosystem, but I want exposure just in case, you buy something like Runecoin. You look at Billion Dollar Cat and you don't know what chain it's on. You look at Dog Go to the Moon, you don't know what chain it is on. But Runecoin, you kind of have an idea that it's either on the Rune
It's a
blockchain,
Rune
right? Or
coin.
it's a Rune coin. So shout out to those guys. I think they did a really good job of branding that. I mean, that's what we did, right? Ordinal Revolution. I mean, we're
Yeah.
we're on
Definitely.
Bitcoin.
Well, I will say that Billion Dollar Cat logo, the actual logo is definitely brandable to where but the name, yes, Runecoin,
Yeah,
I think is probably the most brandable of the Runes ecosystem.
100%. Moving along here, OYL, new wallet is live. You can download it at OYL.io, the easiest 5-letter website I've ever typed it in. So you guys can't really mess that up. Make sure it's OYL.io. But this has someone with big money and a lot of Bitcoin behind it. It has Arthur Hayes and the Airheads. So guys, Yagobi is going to show you the wallet here, but Arthur Hayes has an ordinal project coming out called the Airheads, and opening this wallet will get you a whitelist. We think will get you a whitelist for this. So it's pretty easy. You just kind of go to oyl.io, you download it, write down the words, and you get started. And you become right away. This is the wallet right here. But if you click check my status, right?
Yeah.
You can see that Yagobi here is let's see, he is what are you? Bedridden.
I'm so fat that I am bedridden. Yeah, so there's a couple of different tasks you can do here. Deposit Bitcoin. You can own a collectible to this wallet address. You can send BRC20s. You can send runes, and they'll get you XP points, right? So I believe these points will lead up into a possible whitelist for the Airheads. I hope, because that's what why I was doing it. But you can see your rank here too. And then, I mean, it is a browser wallet for now, is what I'm seeing. So it's going to be similar to Ordinal's wallet or that kind of wallet, right? So it is a browser wallet. There isn't it's not like Unisat to where it pops down here. You can add the extension, but it's just going to bring you to their website. So I think this is something that maybe they will add an actual extension wallet that pops down like MetaMask or Unisat or Xverse. But as for right now, it is a browser wallet. But yeah, I mean, you and I talked about why, maybe some reasons to be bullish on this. Obviously, if Arthur Hayes is behind it, he is a big figure in the Bitcoin space. And I don't know, the Airheads is starting to get a lot of traction too. I do think Airheads will be one of those kind of, performs well as long as whoever's behind it. See, this is the one thing that I don't know if Airheads will follow something like Quantum Cats or Pizza Ninjas that have big figures behind it. You got Trevor with Pizza Ninjas. You have Udi and Eric with Quantum Cats. Udi is very active with Quantum Cats, very active. So will Arthur Hayes, as busy as he is, because he jumps on MSNBC, he jumps on Fox Business, he jumps on these shows, will he be as involved as those other two? And if he is, this could be a very, good performing collection. What do you think?
Yeah, I think you're 100% right. I think that I think he will be. I think Arthur Hayes will be active in this because it's community. He's probably going to change his PFP. on Twitter to one of these characters, the one that he gets or owns or buys off the market or whatever. I think it's stupid for him not to. He's building, potentially a company with this, and we don't know directly if he's behind this or if he's just a figurehead. But on the website, it does say partnered with Arthur Hayes. It does say partnered with Domo, and it says partnered with a few other people. So they're definitely involved in this somehow. And I think this is going to be one of the next big wallets. But if I was Arthur Hayes and I wanted to build something in Ordinals, right? My obviously the first thing I'm going to do is want to build an Ordinal project, Airheads. Second thing I'm going to be like, okay, where do I put this at? Which wallet do I need to put this in? You know what? I'll just create my own wallet. The next thing I would do is create my wallet, right? And then it's like, okay, I want to trade and sell this. What's the next thing I want to do? I'm going to create a marketplace, and so on and so on and so on. I'm going to keep climbing the ladder. And he could just be doing that obviously to make money. He could be doing that to just learn the ecosystem, and he could also be doing it to, for the community. So there's so many possibilities of why he's doing this, but I think this is amazing for Ordinals to have someone like Arthur Hayes, who's been a Bitcoiner, who's been, he's a shitcoiner too. I know he holds some Athena and stuff like that, so I know he's a shitcoiner as well. So this is good. I love Bitcoiners who also shitcoin, so I'm down for that. So yeah, I think this is a big deal, and I think we got to start paying attention to Airheads. And by opening this wallet, I think you'll get a whitelist to the Airhead, and you'll be a part of that. I'm hearing rumors that they're going to be like $25 each, so they're going to be pretty dirt cheap in the beginning. So you know what happens when that happens? People sell them for $50, and I'm going to be buying a bunch. If Arthur Hayes puts his name behind this, and if he goes on CNBC and says, "Oh, I do have an Ordinal project, Airheads," right away, TradFi is going to be like, "Let me get one of these Ordinals." You know what I mean? Like, I want to get some exposure, because that's what these big boys do. They just want exposure to things. They don't care what it is. I want exposure to Ordinals, so I'm going to buy a Quantum Cat because I know Udi's name behind it. It's safe. I'm going to buy a Airhead because I know Arthur Hayes' name behind this, and these guys wouldn't ruin their reputation to rug somebody, right? So I think that is the big difference between getting in something like Billy Cats and they're getting in something like Airheads.
Yeah. I'm still bullish on Billy Cats because I think it,
No, I am too. But it doesn't have
Billy.
that name.
I agree with you on that part. And I think Arthur Hayes is actually a level up from anybody that's like in terms of
I wouldn't say he's higher than Udi.
Well, I'm talking about like FaceTime and popularity from the mainstream. Because Arthur Hayes, like Udi's not jumping on MSNBC Money or whatever.
That's
He's
true.
not jumping on Fox Business. Arthur Hayes does that kind of stuff, right?
Yeah.
So for him to do that, and if he does announce something like that, and then like he gets some partner investors, then this is something that could really blow up. No pun intended there, but like like blow up in terms of mainstream stuff, right?
Yeah.
With that being said, if they are selling for $25, probably expect like 100 on secondary first. But yeah, I'll buy those up. You know what I mean? Like, I'll throw a G at that easy, get 8 of them or something like that.
Yeah.
This is just my personal opinion. Don't take it as financial advice, but that's just how I feel about it.
Yeah, I'm going to try to get as many as possible, being responsible, obviously. I'm not going to go like over like 2% of my portfolio in this, but I'm definitely want to get as many as I possibly can leading up to that. I think it's stupid not to, especially, if they're going for under a couple $100. Obviously, if it comes out of like $7,000, it's a different story, but a couple $100, I'm in it to win it.
Yep.
All right. Jump to the next thing here. Sats Pump Fund has announced a partnership with Uniworlds, the first step on Fractal. So we're already hearing that Fractal is going to be in Uniworlds. You're going to be trading coins and stuff in the Uniworlds game using the Fractal blockchain. Fractal is a Bitcoin sidechain, but it's also a fork of Bitcoin. So it's going to be with layer 1 assets. So they're going to be time locked on one side and unlocked on the other side, but it will just be a receipt of saying you have that BRC20. So what do you think about this Sats Pump Fund and Uniworlds partnership?
This is big, but it's also expected. 2 big projects within the Fractal ecosystem. It's anticipated that Pump.Fund, everybody's going to want to partner with Sats Pump Fund.
Yeah.
Right. Just because I think Sats Pump Fund is getting a lot of hype right now because why? They're people want to replicate something that Solana's been able to do, but it's going to be Bitcoin. It's going to be even better, right? Is what the expectation I think is going to be. With that being said, there's more and more projects starting to be announced that's going to be on the Fractal side. So the whole builder or community is starting to grow pretty quick in a short period of time. So even some projects that you and I have researched that are on layer one are already talking about, expanding their footprint to Fractal. It's going to be an exciting next 3 months for Fractal. And I think here's where I think that they can live up to the hype. You got Sats Pump Fund, you got other applications within their ecosystem to where you can focus on those infrastructure things. With runes, the hype was so much, but it was like all we could do is just launch etch and mint runes, and then you couldn't really do anything else except for kind of what we've been used to. I think that's why the hype kind of died down there. Here, you're going to be able to do stuff, so it should be exciting.
Yep. And right now the team is Anon, right? Anonymous. But I'm hearing rumors that they won't be anonymous for long. They're going to be revealing themselves, and they're already kind of builders in the Bitcoin layer one space. So I'm excited to find out who's behind this project, because I think that's a big deal. Once you put a face and a name to a project, that's a bigger deal than being Anon. And it's going to just give clarity, and it's going to give people that safety. So I'm looking forward to that. And this will be cool. I'm still curious how it's going to happen. You know what I mean? Are they going to mint out BRC 25 tickers and do it that way? It seems very hard. Or they're just going to do the native token, right? So, and then people are saying, "Oh, Fractal has no native token." If you have a bridged token, you have a receipt of the token. Let's just say Sats. You bridge in Sats. You're not going to get the same Sats. You're going to get a receipt saying that you have the Sats. So whatever that standard is, you can just make other coins in that same standard, in the receipt standard. Like, it's not that big. You don't need to bridge in everything. And I think that is going to be a big deal. I don't want no BRC20s. I don't want no runes in Fractal. I want native Fractal tokens like what Hoo Cat was on Merlin. That did 100x, right? That's what I want. But something like Sats Pump Fun is going to give me that times 50. I'm going to have a lot of things to pick from. And you know what I mean? Who knows what they're going to be doing with their Stats Pump Fun token. It'd be awesome if you're able to stake that and then maybe earn some of the percentage of the tokens or something like that. I've got a feeling they're going to come out with some crazy ideas to kind of give stakers of the Sats Pump Fun token some kind of coins, airdrop, stuff like that. It's going to be fun. It's in the name. Right, it's in the name, fun. So I'm excited for it.
Yeah, and also, I mean, even if they throw like a lowercase f in front of BRC20, that's still, to your point, their version of it, right? So I agree that they're going to have, their native version of a BRC20 and stuff like that. And so, I think that's what they'll probably end up doing is throwing like a lowercase f on it, or lowercase fb BRC20 or something like that. And I think that'll be okay, because you can launch one of those on Fractal without having to launch it on layer one. I think that's your whole point.
Yeah, and I'm hoping there's no transfer inscription, right? So I mean, that would solve a lot of my problems if over there. And at that point, it's like put all the BRC20s over there, so you don't got to deal with the transfer inscription anymore. But I'm just curious what that standard is going to be. Like, obviously it's Bitcoin, right? So, but you have all these opcodes now that you're eligible to do. So what kind of standard will be the Fractal standard? What kind of receipt will you get from bringing your Sats over and stuff like that? So will they be UTXO based? I think so, but I'm not sure.
Yeah, I mean, I imagine that they're going to build it to make it as smooth and seamless as possible, because I think that would be probably not very smart. Because like at that point, you're in your own ecosystem, you know what I mean? And it really doesn't matter, because you're going to be bridging in layer one assets that are going to be held on the bridge or whatever. So it doesn't matter how your token necessarily like operates within its own environment. I think it would be really stupid if they just, didn't make it as seamless as possible.
They will.
But yeah, so that's what I'm really hoping that we get the computational functionality on chain with Fractal. That's my biggest hope, that we have this AMM environment, that we have the swap environment, we have these things, because with pumped out fund, it only works that way anyways, because once you hit that bonding curve, that's whenever the liquidity pool gets sent to the native DEX, and then you start degenning, right? So, I mean, it kind of has to have that.
Yeah, man. I'm excited for it. And I think their token's going to be UTXO model. I think it's going to be just to how runes is on native Bitcoin, but they're going to have that on thing. But it's just going to be a receipt token, but you will be able to create new tokens. I'm sure of it. I mean, if you can create a
Yeah.
receipt token,
Well, I mean,
it's permissionless. You're going to be
yeah.
able to just create.
UTXO accounting, whatever they do, they're going to do it to where it's the easiest, right? So
100%.
and if they're modeling their chain off of Bitcoin, then I agree with you. I think UTXO is the way that they would go. But we just kind of have to wait and see. And it's kind of one of the most annoying things is to wait for Unisat, because I feel like we've been waiting for Unisat for so long. And this is not a dig at them. You know what? It is a dig at them. I don't care. But you know, I do appreciate what they've done for our space with the marketplace initially, but we've been waiting. So I have big hopes, but let's just not. I hope I don't get let down. Let's say that.
And in the words of the great poet Tom Petty, the waiting is the hardest part, right? So
That is very true.
All right, moving along here. While we're on Fractal, we might as well hit on this. What is the best play Fractal? Like, if you wanted to have some exposure, like I was saying before, what would you do if you wanted? I want exposure now. What would you do? Would you buy Sats and Ordi, or would you just kind of maybe save that Bitcoin and wait for the bridge to open? Because obviously we know that the Bitcoin bridge is going to be first, right? They're going to allow you to bring your bridge Bitcoin over first. They're going to have wrap Bitcoin on the chain. It's obvious. And then potentially you're going to be able to buy things with that wrap Bitcoin. You're going to have liquidity pools with wrap Bitcoin and stuff like that. It's not just going to be FB. So what would be your play to get Fractal exposure now? Wait and see, or maybe play the game a little bit?
Well, I mean, you know, so let me take that into two different answers. If I was like not disciplined at all, and I said I need exposure right now, I got to figure out what it is, it's 100% for me, it's Sats, because I actually think that Sats is going to be the first Bitcoin layer 1 asset that breaks through the mainstream adoption kind of curve for all of our assets. I think it gets to 5 billion and then $10 billion market cap, and I'll tell you why. Is because Fractal has to be a success for this, by the way. So because they are highlighting that Sats is going to be used in so many different ways in terms of fees, in terms of this and that, that is already, we've seen a pump from that already, right? And if you look at it and you're a well, you're sitting there at Sats at like $600 million market cap right now. And if it can get to like, let's say it can get to like $5 to $7 billion market cap in this run up and during this bull market, then you're still looking at a solid gain for a whale, right? That can put maybe like 50, 100K into it. You know, those are pretty good X's there. So I think that's where the best exposure could be out of all the Bitcoin layer 1 assets. Now, if I had the option to wait, I probably would, you know, maybe I would still get a little bit of exposure to Sats, but something that is going to come out of Sats, you know, pump fund, like one of the very first memes is where that 100 to 1000x could, you know, come out. And I think that you got to be ready for that, right? Because people weren't ready for hoo. And like, if you look back, you should have been. I should have been like, you know, I should have probably like put 10 grand into it whenever it was like 0.005 or whatever it was, right?
0.005.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying. So, and because of the attention that Fractal's getting, and Binance is going to blow it up in terms of marketing, I believe, and all this stuff. So that's kind of where we're sitting. So there's two different scenarios. One is more geared towards whales, people with more capital that they can risk, higher risk tolerance, and the other one is more for the degens that have lower risk tolerance, still high risk tolerance, but lower capital available.
Yeah, I agree with you. I don't think Sats is a good play. I think Sats is a forced narrative. I think, you know, Unisat holds a lot of Sats and they want to somehow use it as the fee token, but you're already paying FB as the fee token. So adding Sats to their modular system, which you're not going to need anymore, right? Because you have these opcodes and stuff like that. You're gonna be able to do it without going into this modular system. You're going to be able to potentially do it on layer 1. So very similar to what maybe the guys at you know, Fluid is doing, maybe limit orders and stuff like that for swaps, because you know you'll have Opcat already in there to where you can just sign one time and you're good to go. You're going to see a lot of stuff. So I don't think that Sats is a good play. I don't think that Ordi is a good play. I don't think that any of the BRC20s are a good play. I think that saving your Bitcoin, and I think waiting for Sats pump fund and using the testnet, getting amazing at it to where you on as soon as Fractal launches and as soon as Sats pump fund is on there, you can get that first token. You can get that second token, you get that third token. I think that's all I want to play with, right? Unless a big name comes in and says, this is my meme, like a Leonidas or something like that, right? But for me, I want the first, second, and third Fractal native token. You know, I'm not playing around with this forced narrative that Unisat's trying to do.
Yeah. You want to make a bet that Sats is the first to get to 5 billion out of all the Bitcoin layer 1 assets in terms of market cap?
See, to me, it doesn't matter. Market cap doesn't matter. It's exits.
I know, but like, so you agree with me that it will?
Yeah, but still, what is a $500 million market cap? What is that, a 5x?
No, that's a 10x. You know, because wait, 10 with 500 million. That's 10 times 500 million is 5 billion.
Do you think Sats gets the 5 billion?
Yeah, I think it's the first Bitcoin layer 1 asset that gets to 5 billion. I think it's the first Bitcoin layer 1 asset because you also
I would take that bet.
You do know that Unisat is also using it as the fee token in Fractal's ecosystem as well, right?
What it's forced. That's what I'm saying.
But I'm just saying, but you do know that like it is being used in their swap though.
Yeah, but someone else is going to create a swap and it's going to be better because you don't got to do that dumb shit.
Well, I'm just telling you, and also
I think it's like, so stupid. Like, that's what I'm saying about forced narrative. That's a forced narrative. It's not like normal. You don't have to you don't have to pay another ticket. So I got to pay an FB and Sats. It's stupid.
Well, so
I'm avoiding that swap.
I'm not even sure if like you have to pay an FB for.
You have to. It's a blockchain token. It's Bitcoin Fork.
So that's what it says. Because that's not.
I'm 100% sure.
Because like Arbitrum's token isn't used for gas.
And Arbitrum's a layer 2. Arbitrum's a layer 2.
So is this. This is a sidechain. So I mean, you're in the same situation as Arbitrum. Arbitrum launched the Arbitrum token. Merlin's the exact same situation.
But then why the hell would you have the FB
governance? I mean,
but it's not governance because it's Unisat.
I know, but my point that I'm making is that you know it's if they do that, so does that change your mind completely if Sats
becomes the chain token?
Yep, the gas token, the gas token. Well, I mean, do you consider Arbitrum the chain token?
No, Ethereum's a chain token.
Okay,
so I wouldn't hold Arbitrum. That's my thing.
If gas become
see that won't happen because you have to remember who invested into FB Binance. Well, Binance is going to want that to be the gas token. Almost guaranteed.
That doesn't mean that Arbitrum is not going to do well. A lot of people think it's going to do well when it runs up. Whenever the
I don't think it's going to do well at all. I think it's
so. Then your theory of Merle is not going to do well. Then,
well,
there we go.
Yeah,
I'm just saying.
You're right. You got me there. So I do think Merle's going to do well, but you're right.
So
you're right. It's
my
the same
point.
as Merle,
my point is it's about this, right? If they do, it's about narratives. You are right about that.
Yeah.
Some forced narratives can work if it makes sense logically in people's heads. But some forced narratives that like you have to think about it a couple times and you're like, why are they? This makes absolutely no sense. It makes sense for them to try to use Sats if it is the Sats chain token. Now, I will say this though, I don't have 100% official information from the Unisat team that they're going to do that. What I do remember reading in the documents is that they are using Sats for the swap on both layer 1 mainnet and Fractal. So if that is the case and it's only that, then I think me and you can go a little bit back and forth again and see what that is, because I might end up on your side then. You know what I'm saying?
I think you will be. I think Unisat just has a bag of Sats and they're kind of forcing the narrative for Sats. And I think it's going to be FB and Sats. You're going to have to pay just like how you did in the modular system. The other one, you had to pay BTC and Sats, right? You had to pay both of them for every transaction. That's a forced narrative. There's no need for that. You know what I mean? And someone else is going to create a swap where you don't need to do that. And that's probably going to be the better swap.
But I will say though, with the modular system on Bitcoin layer 1, you only paid Bitcoin when you bridged in and you bridged out. But it's still, at the end of the day, you look at how much you spent and you're kind of like, okay, I paid double.
That becomes an L3 because if Fractal's an L2, then the Sats module's an L3. Like you don't need that. It's another forced narrative.
If they do that, I'm gonna be so pissed because
if you're gonna bridge your FB
what was the whole
into
point?
This modular system, there's no point. There's no point.
This
is forced. You don't
Yeah.
need it. It's this forced
Well,
narratives.
look,
Unisat trying to
yeah.
do something with their giant. We know Unisat is the largest SAT holder. We know that. They're
Oh,
trying to pump their stuff.
I think that's a good, like, probably a good. Not you can check on chain, right? It's
Yeah.
not even a good speculation. But I agree with you. I think they are the biggest stats holder, but I mean, like everybody pretty much expected that to
Yeah.
happen. The way it
Shout out
did.
to our guy, man, Francis, doing uncensored
Yo!
legend in the space. He's always I appreciate you coming in here, man. Thank you so much for everything you do for the ordinal space, man. And keep grinding, buddy. I can't wait to have you on the show again. I was teasing earlier that he might be the special guest, but it doesn't look like he's coming in here now. But yeah, let's kind of you want to get into I have extra time. You want to get into the building on it real quick before we get into
Yes.
Blue
I
Friday?
mean, I have the list, so I can show it.
All right, cool.
All right, so this is just I'm gonna zoom in here too so everybody can see. So this was so shout out to Crypto Kong here at Alt Signal Pro. Check him out. He said just checking projects coming to Fractal, and these are some projects just to keep your eye out for. Right, you have BAMP 5 from our guy Jack Liu. Synthetic Dollar, man, he was super excited about Fractal once he kind of learned that this is simple, just crossover for them. By the way, he's super bullish on Bell's chain too. He's going there, and of course, we know he loves BSV. And then you have a OpNet BTC, which is the Moto Swap guys, smart contract meta protocol. They added their protocol to testnet there, which is going to be also Moto Swap there. Uniworlds, you got Sats Pump Fun as well, and then Infinity Labs, which is the AI project, and then Hanzo Momo, which is art. I guess that is going to be
happy Hansa, happy Quantica. That's what it sounds like, right?
Yeah, exactly. So when it says art, I believe these are Ordinals projects. So you have Hanzo Momo and then Pico by Rabino. So I don't know. These are some projects, obviously Stats Pump Fun, we know a lot about. We're excited about that. Uniworlds, we're excited about that. BAMP 5, we know that is operational right now. The others, some are in testnet and the others we need to learn more about. But, so far not bad for a builders community starting to develop, wouldn't you say there?
Yeah, I mean, hey guys, sorry
What's
to bombard the show.
Nah, dude, we love it. Just hop in, bro.
I had to get a haircut quickly before I came on, so I do apologize for being a little bit late. But yeah, I mean, look, man, Fractal now, I think maybe about a month ago, not many people knew about Fractal. Today, many people know about Fractal, and now we're starting to see the ecosystem projects here. Obviously, we have to be careful of what's out there, right? There would be some bad actors. But nonetheless, I think it's starting to proliferate and come into its own now, right? Its ecosystem starting to show itself. Apparently, they're going live on September 1st. That is crazy. You know what I mean? So, and I don't
think so.
I know, but that's the thing, right? Who knows? We'll see. But apparently, I saw something saying September 1st. And I just spoke to another individual who's a reputable guy. It's in September 1st too. So we'll see. If let's just say that's the case, that's pretty bullish, right? Now it's live. So from there, we'll start to see the real projects comes to market. So I'm definitely keeping my eye out for that.
Yeah, so testnet goes back live in a couple of days, right? I think they said it's they're gonna add opcat and stuff like that. So we're talking about 10 days of testing before live. I just don't see it. I just know Unisat pretty well at this point, and I knew from last September when they're talking about the swap till February, it came out, and then it was disaster. So I don't know, obviously might have been some technical difficulties and stuff like that with that. I just think we kind of see that again. And that's just from my experience of Unisat. I could be completely wrong, and I'd be very happy if I'm wrong. Don't get me wrong, but I'm just going from my experience.
Yeah, I would say, I mean, that's definitely not out of the realm of possibilities because, with software development, that's what we see all the time, especially working with something kind of new like this. That is, could be a chance that happens, but I just love how they were working quietly for so long until nosy people like me and others started to you smell that? I smell something brewing. And then we started to talk about it. So it didn't this marketing, this awareness didn't even come from them. I think they were focused on making sure things work in a respectful timeline. And hopefully they could honor that. So we'll see. We'll see. But even though let's just say September comes and it pushes over to the next month, I'll be okay with that personally. I just want the damn thing to work. And to your point there, yeah, I mean, that's like about 10 days for a larger group of people to test it. I think they already had a smaller group testing it. I believe they also tested it themselves, but they want now a larger group. So I feel as though what I'm trying to say is they seem to be very confident in their value proposition here. You know what they're about to deliver.
Yeah.
I actually feel like Unisat actually is kind of like this guy on the block that just really doesn't give a f. They're kind of like, you know what, you guys are upset, we don't care, because whenever the time is right, like for the entire market conditions and stuff, we're gonna deliver something that you guys are gonna be happy about. Now that is obviously like a guess, but also, I wanted to ask you specifically, Francis, because in the spirit of your you and Shizzy's amazing debate 2 weeks ago, I've seen kind of like this unity kind of forming around Fractal between Runes and BRC stuff. Do you see that as well? Because I see some Runes projects interested in building on Fractal.
Well, there we go, right? As I said, look, I feel as though Fractal Bitcoin is not trying to pick one over the other, or else they want to include Runes to be compatible on their framework. So it should bring us together. And I get it. When we join certain camps, certain communities, certain projects, we feel tribal. But imagine if everybody was building on the same framework, bro. How crazy that will be in a positive way, right? There's so much divide here for whatever reason. Like, I just don't try to get, too caught up or all in on something, but yeah, I mean, look, I think it's going to help everybody. And like, you mentioned that how developers are going to from Runes to Fractal. Is it because they're thinking, oh my God, oh shit, well, this is the next big thing? I don't know. I want the real developers who's actually don't care about a hype or this or that or the other. That means well, So when I see one guy who was BRC20, then he's jumping to Runes, and he's jumping to Fractal, and he's jumping like a freaking squirrel trying to find the next nut, I can't really take those guys serious. They're more marketers than they are actual developers then, right? Or trying to extract. I'm not saying the people you're saying, but it's great if everybody thinks that how Fractal has more components that doesn't already exist there. And I believe if you're a developer, if you're a business person on Layer 1 when it comes to the Runes or BRCs or whatever, listen, man, to have a network effect, we need some cheap fees, we need fast blocks, we need programmability and scalability. As much as we want to do these things on Layer 1, like, Tap, great work, amazing work. And I truly mean this, of finding a way to get smart contracts on Layer 1 and a couple others out there. But you cannot get away from the fast, the slow blocks or the expensive fees. Yeah. Or the expensive fees. Programmability is just one out of the 4 pieces. You really need all 4 to have the full package, to have a network effect. And some people might say, well, it's Bitcoin. It already has that. Not when it comes to trading tokens, bro. Like, imagine this. Why would you take the highway to work, you get there in 5 minutes, you take the back roads, you get there in 25 minutes. Of course, you're going to take the fastest route. Why would traders from Solana want to come here and wait, bro? Like, dude, sometimes 25 minutes for a damn trade to go through, bro. That's unacceptable in their eyes. So as much as we want everything on Layer 1, you can't have your cake and eat it too. You can't have programmability. I mean, you can have programmability on Layer 1 and security, which is important. But if you don't have that cheap, fast block confirmation and cheap fees, bro, it's going to present other problems. It's half-baked if you're talking about trading tokens. However, with that being said, I believe there will be a market on Layer 1 for people who value security and they don't care about convenience, meaning, fast, block confirmations. There will be a market for that. But if you're talking about the full volume, like the big volume, that's going to take place in other places like the Fractal Bitcoins of the world for sure. 100%.
I agree. And I think Fractal is going to be a shell of itself until Bitcoin gets OpCat, right? So imagine with Fractal OpCat and Bitcoin OpCat, the bridges and everything are going to be so perfect. So then Fractal becomes an actual real L2 where everything is being put down on Bitcoin Layer 1 eventually down the line. How they're going to do that, I'm not really sure how, but I just think that Fractal now is building something and it's using, potentially the opcodes that Bitcoin is going to get later down the line, and maybe some other stuff as well. So Fractal is exactly what we want to do as degens on Bitcoin, but just not dealing with the bullshit we have to deal with here. So I think that's the reason why I'm getting more and more bullish on it. And the fact that they don't give a shit, they're not playing these tribal games. They want mass adoption. How do you get mass adoption? We take on everything.
Yeah. And I was hearing some talks about the ability for OpCats on these L2s could provide decentralized bridges
Yeah.
Also, this is what I heard, right? From a couple of sources, and also like atomic swaps is what it could do. So I think that should be like a decentralized approach, one would think. And I know Portal DeFi, which is like a Bitcoin interoperable atomic swap protocol, are working on similar things. So, and the combination of OpCat with BitVM too, that's going to give it a little bit more advanced functionalities, right? More flexible. So it's very interesting times ahead of us, and I get it. A lot of people could argue that how BSV has this and etc. That's true, but I think that was at a time when we were talking about like the boomer days. You know what I mean? Like Roger Ver and Craig Wright and all these guys fighting, right? It didn't really make much sense back then because you didn't have the notion of tokens on mainnet with Bitcoin. You know, now I think it makes all the sense in the world. And when you have this sort of framework that Fractal's trying to create here for us, it pretty much has the properties of Bitcoin, but with the enhancements and tweaks necessary. That's what's missing on Bitcoin to actually trade tokens. So the faster blocks, the things we already discussed. So you got the SHA-256, you got the core code, you got the proof of work, cool. Faster blocks, cool. Liquidity pools, the scalability through the recursive and all of these things that you cannot just do on layer one. So I just don't know what the misunderstanding is here for people. I see some people, and you're always going to have this, right? People for something or not for something. And I just, people that are, on the other half of that divide, I feel they don't see the full picture because they came, they're newcomers to the space, right? Probably runes people and they don't get it. You're just not going to have people from who really trade these tokens come here and want to trade like an NFT, bro, and wait 30 minutes for that in an NFT. That's not going to happen. So that's my take.
Well, you mentioned something in your previous statement about like, even if OpCat comes to layer one, that it's not going to be an environment or UX to where people want to trade tokens. I do think that like NFTs and ordinals and stuff will thrive on layer one, but like when it comes to the token trading fast, no, it's not. It's just it's not going to happen unless you can increase block size and make things quicker, right? I think we got to realize like how much we've accomplished as an ecosystem for even having an on-chain economy that has billions of dollars of transactions on it. Bitcoin's never experienced that before ordinals, right? So let's take that win. And then what we do is we use layer one as a security environment of like, you can still buy tokens on there and just because you don't want to mess with the high, fast activity and just be like, I don't want to deal with the stress. I'll buy tokens, hold them. And if I want to go to the playground, if you will, that's when you go to Fractal. And then Fractal can be that solution of a playground for all Bitcoin layer one assets that are relevant, if that makes sense.
Perfectly said. That's exactly how I see it too. I think like if you want that native pure L1 asset, then you don't mind this, slower blocks, then by all means, that's what I mean by there will be a market there. But if you're talking about sort of like DeFi-like products and all of these other things and these fast-paced moving protocols, it just can't happen there, So it's great to have both options though, And I think that's what we're about to have.
And I think one thing we all love, right, is being early. My favorite thing in the world is being early to something, right? That's why I was so happy about Merlin, because, I was one of the first probably 100 users, and I plan on being one of the first 100 users on Fractal as well. And being early, what that means is basically like you learn before everyone else. And I think that is the biggest thing, because education is very expensive. And the earlier you do it, the less you pay in education. And that is my number one thing. I love being early. And again, being in ordinals, we have an opportunity to be early again.
Absolutely. And like I mentioned this in a live stream I did the other day. It's almost like, we've lived through the not the uncertainties, but the pitfalls here with these sort of like trying to have tokens on Bitcoin. And I feel like this is the first thing that's actually really addressing it, bro. Like I'm just so excited for this because, like, as I said, right, I'm very critical on certain things, but for a good reason, in my opinion. Maybe you could disagree and that's fine. Everybody has their own opinion. But I just feel like, bro, when I look at Unisat and I look at this Fractal thing, it's everything I was telling myself that's missing, and they're coming and they're going to deliver this, bro. It's crazy. It's crazy times. Like, and you mentioned about what Ordinals did, right? So basically what Taproot did to Bitcoin, that upgrade gave it this way of saving data on chain, which is text files, art, NFTs, and eventually, ultimately, the discovery of tokens on Bitcoin. Well, imagine with OpCat, right? And like you said, chances are that won't happen anytime soon on layer one. So we need to take that elsewhere and see what's up there. So yeah. it's definitely.
How do you
some good
feel
time.
about other projects? We were talking about a few of them. Other projects on Fractal right now. We know the biggest DApp is Uniworlds. They just got a partnership with Sats Pump Fund. What do you think about Uniworlds? Are you maybe buying any of these Uniworlds or anything like that? Are you playing that game at all?
I already bought some keys, man. I saw Chaining
Yeah.
shilling it, and I was like, "What the hell is this guy into now?" You know what I mean? And I bought some keys some time ago. I made a video and I said, "Hey, I just purchased 10." Yeah, so I got those going on there. It's the first app. Look, let's talk about the metaverse here, guys. If you don't mind, since we're bringing up Universe.
No, good.
So I actually bought the top of the metaverse hype in 2021. I'm not proud of that. I spent a ridiculously dumb money on it, right? And I've also developed on it in Sandbox. So I have land there that's fully developed and functional, right? So I know firsthand, right, from being invested into it and also building on it, the metaverse and the capabilities it could bring. And I believe in one day we will get there. Today's generation, they're actually on 2D. They're not interested in 2D applications like Twitter and even YouTube. My daughter right now is playing freaking what's that game called? Not Fortnite. Is it Fortnite? Roblox. She's in Roblox right now, playing with her cousin all the time, and they're in these worlds. So I feel when they get older and the other kids come, like it's going to be how social media is now. So I think that day would come. With that being said, we have bitmaps now, right? And everybody loves bitmaps, and cool, that's great. But the reality of bitmap is this, guys, and please, if you want to get upset, that's your problem. But people who gone to bitmap weren't metaverse fanatics or activists or proponents. There are people looking for the next thing on Bitcoin to make money. And in order to actually be successful, you need some damn development. It's a bunch of degens, and I'm a degen too, that owns bitmaps that don't have no intention to build. You're not going to get anything out of that. And I don't know how funded these people are. If it's a decentralized thing, you're not funded. You need money and you need builders. I don't think Bitmap has that. I hope they do. I wish they do. I don't even know what's going to happen of it. I feel as though it's still in the same place in terms of like progress, maybe a little bit more, growing a little bit more. And it's not really progressing the way it should to be successful. And now you have Universe coming here. They're funded. They seem to be, on the right pace. They're on this like framework that could do more advanced things. Like, they might be something that develops faster than Bitmap. That's all.
Yeah.
Now, like going back to our, and I'm sorry, I'm almost I'm going back to our Yagobi's point. Maybe this is where the layer 1 option for Bitmap comes and the layer 2 for Uniworlds. I don't know, but there will be markets on both chains. Sorry, Shizzy.
No, there's a lot of builders that is happening on Bitmap though. You have bitmap.game from Jeff and the Merlin squad. You have Bitmap Valley from IMSO Chris. You have Bitmap, but Foxy is building on Bitmap as well. So you do have those metaverses that are being built, but they're not all like, it's not all one how Uniworlds is going to be, right? You have
But
everyone.
how much percent does that make up of the entire Bitmappers?
3.
Probably under 1%.
No, those builders are probably, I would say, is about 30% of all the builders. There's probably about 7 more that are like legitimately building like either a marketplace or a tooling types thing. There is this is why I think that you feel that way though, is because there's not a lot of like marketing push behind them.
Zero.
Like right now, Foxy's game, I played it in beta and it's a first person shooter. It's really cool. They're actually, trying to do it to where you can have clans. Like, for example, you can have the Trendsetters clan or, Ordinal Revolution's clan or whatever. So that one is actually going to be something that I think becomes popular in our space. But for like a couple people that have passion about it, like Jeff, I know a lot of people look at him as like this big VC type of, interaction type of guy, but he actually came to the Bitcoin ecosystem because of Bitmap. Last cycle, he was building metaverse stuff in the EVM space. So he actually has a passion about Bitmap, and that's what kind of started him over here. And then there's the people that are here, they're passionate, but their communities, are not like, there's not a big marketing push behind them. One that I will say that has come out recently is the Bitmap News, and they have spaces, I think, like during the week. So definitely jump in there just to kind of see what's going on from time to time.
Yeah, no, for sure. And again, you guys would know this more than me, right? You're fully like involved in that side of things. So maybe there's something that I'm missing. I don't know. Yeah,
I do get your point though. The marketing is just it's it's really bad over there. Those guys don't, but they always like I said so. I went into their thing and I said, you guys need to be marketing while you're building and stuff like that. And a lot of them gave me pushback, like, no, we don't want those people. So they're just kind of building for themselves. They're not even really building for the mass adoption. They're kind of hoping it comes later.
Fine.
So
that's fine.
I don't. Yeah, it's more of a community thing than anything else. And
that's actually whenever, like,
if
you continue that passion building, that's whenever actually things actually click eventually sometimes.
Yeah.
Or it doesn't, right? But at least you built it for your passion.
Yeah, and it's funny. I had Bitoshi in my DMs, like, don't be going in there and talking to my guys like that. And I was like, I'm sorry, I'm just telling them they need more marketing. And he's like, we don't need no more fuckers. I had Bitoshi in my DMs yelling at me, and I'm like, why are you coming on the show? And he's like, I know, I only go and chill with people I respect. I'm like, damn, Bitoshi no longer respects me.
Yeah, and like I get it with Bitmap of this whole decentralized metaverse and all this, bro. But like I'll tell you, man, like to be successful, I think like we need let's call it adoption, let's call it more users, let's call it more eyes, whatever. The majority of the people, and I get it, in the Bitcoin community is different. That's important. But you talk about metaverses and all this shit, bro. Believe me, bro. Like people don't really give a fuck about like decentralization as much as they should, right? Like the masses. I'm saying to have completely decentralized metaverse, that's not going to sell like to the masses. To people like us and the bitmappers, that's important, of course. But a product like that, bro, a metaverse is supposed to be a big social playground. Believe me, bro. A lot of people don't care about that, right? If you want to just get around, like, thousands and thousands and thousands and thousands of people, you need a better pitch than the most decentralized metaverse. Believe me, bro. It has to be fun. It has to be interactive. It has to be smooth. It has to be enjoyable. It's kind of like, why would I want to go to the bar and have a drink? Because I have a good time. Well, I want to have a good time here. They don't give a fuck about decentralization as much as you would think. They want to have a good time.
Yeah.
That's what it comes down to.
Exactly. Yeah. And I think that it, like right now, I think Foxy and stuff is awesome. I think a lot of these builders, Uniworld is amazing. But I don't think it goes from coins to gaming to mass adoption. I think it has to come from a game like Grand Theft Auto or a game like Fortnite adopting the token standard. I think it has to come from that way. It's not coming from our side into their world. That's coming from their world into our side.
But I will say, go ahead, Francis.
You go ahead. Go.
Well, I was gonna say, I will say this. Bitmap is the first that we've seen of it in the crypto space, actually coming from a decentralized approach. And I do agree with Francis's point on that, but for short term at least, maybe even a little midterm. But you got to think about, and Shizzy, I think you had a little bit of this feeling too, is when Bitmap first started coming out and people started buying into it, the passion was crazy about it. So the thing about that is it reminds me of the stories I would hear about Bitcoin when it launched in 2009. And people were saying the same shit. They were like, why do we need digital currency? We already have dollars on our debit card and we PayPal and send shit, blah, blah. But what happens is you have a group of people that believe in the same thing for so long that they break through, they penetrate eventually. And so Bitmap has that potential, but they have to continue. You have to get through all the shit that people are going to throw at it, like that it was thrown at Bitcoin too, because there was a lot of shit thrown at Bitcoin. Can they survive that? Can they continually, there's 36,000 Bitmap holders, by the way, guys. So that's a lot of people. That's a big community. Can they continually march forward as shit is being flung at them? And I think if you question the human spirit, then you're going to be surprised. Because if they can have more and more of push forward, no matter what is being built around them, they just ignore that shit. They can't succeed, but it's definitely a journey, because Bitcoin becoming successful was not an easy thing for that community.
Good point. Good points. I think Shizzy mentioned something there about what's going to be successful, whether it's Uniworlds or this and that. I think it comes back down to the people that were here with the metaverse scene on chain, which is the sandboxes of the world. You already got Snoop Dogg and these big high-end celebrities over there, high-profile celebrities, building worlds for them. I don't know what's going to become of that. But if that didn't work out for whatever reason, I just don't know how this metaverse thing is going to really happen on chain, right? If we're talking about like real success, like Sandbox is right there. They got the mass adoption. They got the big names in there. But what's going on? Why is it not taking off? That's what we need to look at to see, what these other ones moving forward.
But I think it's because there's a centralized entity behind it that was had selfish interest on making money versus something that was everybody trying to do something with it, and it's different. But I mean, I could be completely wrong. Bitmap could be gone, next month. I don't think that's going to happen, but it could be. But
So
completely, like, everybody was against Bitcoin in the beginning.
Yeah.
All the big banking institutions, all these forces were against it. Like, there was no big money pushing it until probably 2011, 2012. Then some big money was pushing a little bit. So sometimes big money that pushes marketing, that works for short term and mid-term, unless there's a solid ass idea behind it. Then that can continue on. But if there's a solid ass idea and you keep pushing forward with the human spirit, you can make it, I think.
Well, listen, Shizzy sold all his bitmaps, so I guess that's my my sell signal too.
That's our logo, though.
I did. It is my logo. It is. But the next big metaverse is Grand Theft Auto. Grand Theft Auto, they're in talks with partnering with Coinbase. They're gonna have a Rockstar coin. When you buy a card in the game, you're gonna buy it with Rockstar coin. When you sell a card in the game, you're gonna sell it with Rockstar coin. When you mod the card and put new tires on it and windshields and stuff like that, you're gonna be able to sell that for Rockstar coin. When you go to the store and you buy a new shirt for your character, you can be buying that in Rockstar coin. You can take that same shirt, you take the same store and sell it on a marketplace, right? It's going to be NFT form. But when you bridge out of the game and you bridge in right into Coinbase, and you're going to be able to do everything, all that stuff. So they're going to use Coinbase as their marketplace, but you have to obviously just send it to Coinbase from the game. So I think Rockstar is going to be very centralized, and it's going to be the first and #1 metaverse. And what that's going to do, that's going to have companies like Fortnite and to your point, Roblox. They're going to be doing the same thing.
So what are they using blockchain tech for that, or just?
So the rumor has it they're afraid to come out with anything yet because of Gary Gensler and that stuff. But the rumors are waiting for better regulations, and once they get better, and we all know with Trump being potentially a Bitcoiner now, and Kamala coming out and she's trying to get our vote as well, there are going to be better regulations for what we're doing here, and it's going to allow companies like Rockstar and Fortnite and these guys to actually be able to enable a coin. You know what I mean? And have it be able to bridge out to coin. Imagine going to Coinbase and buying Rockstar coin, sending that coin to Grand Theft Auto, and then buying an amazing car, because you don't have the time that some nerd has running around, but he's able to now to build up this amazing car and then sell it to you. But you just want to ride around in it. You don't want to fucking sit there and for hours and hours and build it.
You know what's weird though, bro? When the other side raised, remember Other Side Metaverse, bro? That's another one I got into, and it didn't work out too well in terms of, at least of now, but as of now. I did see in Q4 that will all change. Like, this was prediction 2.5 years ago. We'll see. I can't come off of that now. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I'm right. I don't know. But with Other Side collecting all of that money, it's like, if they collected that money, dude, they had a lot of celebrities too, right? The Board ABR Club celebrity, people buying that shit, looking into the Other Side Metaverse. What happened with that? They can't even seem to develop it. They showed glimpses here and there, and you could have come in, but people weren't too happy with the product. So I just don't know if really having a metaverse on the blockchain is going to be all of that successful. I don't know. Maybe somebody pulls it off, but they got to learn from the previous mistakes. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah. I agree.
Now, just something else about FB token, I'll say, bro. I like the fact that I believe it's 50% of it is going to be mined. And I think the other 50% is allocated towards other different metrics. They obviously did a pre-sale. They got team tokens. They got advisory and whatever else. For the liquidity pool as well. So whatever metrics are set aside, that's fine. But we know 50% is going to be mined. Bro, I think this is pretty damn cool and bullish, man. I honestly believe, long-term play, bro, if everything works the way it works, I believe FB could be I did a tweet about BNB in terms of long-term, maybe 5-6 years from now. I think FB could really grow, bro. Because knowing that how most of it's going to come from being mined. But that there, so something to be on the lookout for. But if you're talking about quick, fast gains, we're talking about new projects in the ecosystem. But long-term hold, depending how long your window is, FB might be worth it for you. Just gotta decide when you want to enter in.
Do you know if FB is going to be used as the chain gas token, or is it going to be Sats?
It's very interesting. I try to reach out to one of the team members, and as of now, what I know for certain is it's going to be Sats for the DEX. So I just don't know how, and FB should be for the blockchain, for the actual framework, right? When you're outside of the DEX, it should be FB, but when you're using the DEX, it looks like it's going to be Sats. I don't know. It's a good question. I'm unclear about that too. But either or, they have transactions for FB. So one would think that's going to be, the gas token for sending out transactions. But everything related to the DEX looks like it's going to be Sats.
Go ahead.
That's such a forced narrative. There's no reason to put Sats there. That just shows me that Unisat has a giant bag of Sats that they're trying to pump. I'm going to wait for the next checks to come in.
I think they want to be consistent. I think they want to be consistent with the original, use case of Sats being that for the swap. So they said, hey, well, let's
Yeah, but
use it.
the
But think
swap
about it.
at
But think
that
about
point,
it.
it
You
was a
don't think
modular system.
I guarantee you they got more FB than they do Sats. So they probably would want to put FB. You know what I mean? That's how you can look at it.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
And I that's why I think SaaS is gonna drop, because I think they're gonna come out and they're gonna say, you know what, this isn't feasible for us. We're gonna use the FB token, because that shareholders don't want to pump SaaS. They want to pump FB. How are you gonna do that? You're gonna make that the sole. And if they want to do that, force the narrative, force you to have SaaS, then another DEX is gonna come up, and I guarantee there's gonna be 5 DEX by the end of the year.
I was going to say, I was about to say
copy
that.
and paste.
I don't know if you guys saw the screenshot from Lorenzo about pizza swap.
Pizza. Exactly.
There might be a couple of different options out there, right? So
yeah.
But if I was them, which I'm not, I wish I was. They're very smart people, achieved a lot, and they're way smarter than me. But I would say FB should have been the main token up there, and have Sats only on the layer 1 module swap, which I originally interpreted it to be like that. But it turns out it's going to be Sats on both. So yeah.
So that could be where they make a big play here. I mean, honestly, like, they have the engineers to do it, the developers to do it, to where they could technically roll out 3 to 5 swaps, and they're just different branded and all use Sats. And then at that point, you're like, oh shit, like, because then.
But that's stupid, because the LP is going to be fucked up. There's going to be you're going to be able to get more LP here, LP here. You'd rather just have it all in one. You know what I mean? If there's
splitting
liquidity. Oh, right. Yeah. The liquidity. The liquidity is everywhere.
That would be dumb. I'm just saying, if they were trying to monopolize on these swaps, so that the swaps could, kind of have this network of using Sats. But I agree. I think that it is pretty dumb to use Sats. I mean, as a Sats holder, you're probably excited, but like, to use Sats within a a swap within a chain that uses a different token for gas, that's just really weird. I think I've seen it done though in the EVM environment, to where you use I've seen it for sure on launch pads, to where you have to allocate like a certain token for that. But not I know it's different. I'm not saying it's not. I'm saying I've seen that. But because I remember like there was a project, right, on a Bitcoin layer 2. I'm not going to go into deep details. And people thought that they were trying to use their token for the fees, right? And so it sounded like it was possible. You could code it in there, but then you would still, the platform would still have to pay the network fee anyway. So you're paying double.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, no, I agree. I mean, we'll see. We'll soon find out, I guess, right? If they're going on September 1st.
Yeah.
But
so let me ask you, Francis, what is the best play right now for me? So people are saying, even yourself, it's pizza, it's Sats, it's the BRC20, stuff like that. For me, it's save my Bitcoin, wait for the Bitcoin bridge, because the Bitcoin bridge will be available way before the BRC20 bridge, in my opinion. And I'm going to be able to bridge my Bitcoin over. And then what can I do? I can go to some things like Sats Pump Them Fun and some other like that. And I can get the native coins, right? And everyone's saying, oh, Fractal's not going to have a native coin. But if they have a receipt token, and what I mean by receipt token is when I take my Sats and I bridge them over, I'm not getting the same Sats. I'm getting a receipt saying I hold those Sats that's in that lock or that multi-sig or however they're doing. I think they're doing like a lock process. But anyway, I'm getting that form of token. So I can just make that own standard. And I think it's going to be a UTXO standard. And I think that would be the smartest thing to do. So that way there's no transaction fees. There's no there's no transaction inscription. There's really no inscription at all. You're just kind of doing it like that. So I want to get those coins. I want to get the hoo cat. You remember hoo cat,
I
right?
I go for What about you? Right. I miss saying that. It was such a giddy thing. Yeah.
But am I wrong though? Is that my best play? I know you might have a different strategy.
Whenever you're going to a new ecosystem, protocol, framework, L2, sidechain, whatever, but it's always all about the new tokens launching there, in my opinion. I think what it does here now, it gives the tokens on layer 1, Runes BRC, more flexibility, more advanced features and capabilities. But are you going to see mega gains from the already existing ones of BRCs? Probably not, unless they do some crazy shit up there, right? And they make use cases on Fractal with their BRC being bridged over, the wrapped one, if you will. But yeah, to your point, it's definitely, in my opinion, in my experience, it normally comes from these new tokens going to market with creative ideas and actually deliver something, right? Or you could speculate on them too. So for me, it's all about the new tokens for sure, the new projects that's native to that particular framework. So, a Sats Pump, they look like they're going to be doing some good things too. And like when we talk about what they're doing over there, it's like, again, people could say, hey, we could do that on layer 1. You can't because you don't have the automation. Okay, well, you got the programmability. You still got the slow blocks, speed and expensive gas. So it can't work there. That's actually a great product market fit that makes a lot of sense going to something like Fractal that has all of those things that we already discussed. So I think they're on the right path for sure. You know, their following is going up. They're doing the largest BRC20 airdrop to the people who never got a token airdrop, right? You had to hold 3 pieces of art, which was cool. But why are you rewarding art guys with tokens? You should have rewarded the token guys with tokens, right? So the Ordis, the Sats, and all these things. So they're doing that initiative. That's been received really, really well. A lot of engagement over there. And yeah, there's a utility token side of things as well that they didn't release. So I think that camp there knows what they're doing, and they're on the right protocol to make it happen. So yeah, do be on the lookout for them and see what they're, what's their next move and the type of projects going on that platform too. You know, they just partnered with Uniworlds too. Uniworlds is backed by Unisat. Yeah. Unisat's backed by Binance. So I don't know. All right. That's how I see it.
Yeah. I just want to know the name of the first coin. I don't know the name of the first native Frax.
Well, they'll announce it when it's ready. And
but remember, right, this one might be a little bit different. Let's just say somehow, somewhere, in terms of like what we call the first. So let's just say that how the first Fractal Bitcoin token, I believe there's minimum 6 byte tickers is required, not to, so they don't mix up with the BRCs being bridged, is whatever. Okay, cool. That's fine, right? The first that was whatever ticker, like Ordi did well. We know, well, the first with runes, it's locked up, but you know what I mean? It's normally the best, but that's when you're limited to just making a token and being the first. But if you have the first token on a protocol that could do so many different things and it's just doing nothing, I don't think it's not valuable. I think the first real legitimate project token is what we should be looking for, because yes, this is an inscription still. You will inscribe them, but it's also come with smart contract functions. So we should expect more from a utility side from these particular projects. And of course, meme coins are great too. They'll have memes there, but I feel like they're developing this framework for utility. That's why they want OpCat and BitVM, So I think that's where the main gains, the most gains will come from utility-driven projects. And memes
maybe
too.
like a DEX token or like maybe a lending
DEX token, anything.
token.
Yes. Like if you go to their website, they have a list of things that we can expect to see being built there. That type of stuff, right? Yeah. Maybe I'm just biased because I'm a utility guy at heart, and but listen, memes will always thrive.
And that we're not even close. Well, yeah, I feel like we're not really close right now to the utility phase of this bull market, but there will be one. Let's make that for sure, because there's going to be people that are overthinking. They're newer to crypto, TradFis, not necessarily in the institutions, but like they are used to TradFi. They're going to be looking for, what does this token do? What is the project attached to this? Oh, that sounds amazing. And they're going to overthink it. We've been through that, right? And so for us, yes, we can jump on that train and make the coin off of that and get out. But I agree with you. There's going to be a phase of this bull market to where utilities shine. But I do think in the beginning of Fractal, maybe the first coin that makes sense of its name on like Sats Pump Fund, I think that's going to be one of the ones that really, because it's going to really get that liquidity push, go get sent over to the DEX. And we're not used to that functionality over here.
Exactly.
So once that happens, our brains are going to tingle. And we're going to be like, degen time, blah, 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 blah. And I bet you initially you're going to see a lot of people dump early because they're used to doing that over here because it's slow-fi over here. And then the ones that are used to kind of trading on EVM and Solana, they'll be the ones, and they've dabbled over where we are, they'll be the ones that probably make the most profit on that first push up. And it's going to be fun, though. That's the main point.
Absolutely. To know that we have those capabilities today or coming soon, I think we're going to realize how much needed this was really, like we should have had this a long time ago. So yeah, very exciting times ahead of us, boys. Very, very, very exciting times. Yeah.
Yeah, man.
We forgot it was Friday.
Hey, we're calling it Francis Fridays, right? Or is it Fractal Fridays? Or Fractal and Francis Fridays, whatever. All good.
Yeah, man. Well, thank you so much for joining us, man. I'm still down in Jersey. I got one more day going back home. 7 days. 7 days is too long. I don't know if I want to take another 7-day vacation. I spent so much goddamn fucking money, but but
But when I
every
go away,
day's
all I
like
do is I think of crypto, I think of the business, I think what's happening. Like I just can't enjoy my time anymore on
I know.
vacation.
Yeah.
So I feel you. I feel you. Yeah.
I'm on the beach like, looking up fractal projects
There you
and
go.
stuff like that.
But you
So
definitely found a good one. Sats Pump definitely seems like they're standing out. So making
yeah,
partnerships too. Yeah, definitely good there.
definitely.
But
Yeah,
boys,
man. I'm excited for that for sure.
yeah, yeah, no, absolutely. But thank you guys. I gotta get back to editing. You know the game. Edit. Well, no, you guys don't edit. You guys go live. What the hell am I talking about? You don't know the game.
That's the best way.
I'm just making a Fractal Opcat video right now. Should be published today. So once again, guys,
Nice.
thank you so much for the invite. Right?
Yep.
Yeah,
All right,
man.
talk
Thank
to
you
you
so
later.
much, Francis.
Hey,
Anytime, dude.
tell the situation from Jersey Shore. I said hi. The situation. Remember that guy? Yeah. All right, buddy.
I'm meeting with them later. I'll let them know.
There we go. All right.
See
Take
you,
care,
man.
boys.
You
All
too.
right, see ya.
Yeah, man, it's always a great time to hang out with our boy Francis, man. But you guys know what it is. It is Fluid Friday. We're gonna get into that right now. Let me find the correct banner for it, and here it is. If you guys don't know what Fluid is one of one of the two top lending and borrowing platforms in the Bitcoin ordinal space. They're not just the lending and borrowing; they're also a swap, and their new thing is their staking. We're gonna get into that in a minute, but if you don't know what Fluid is, go do a swap over there. You can learn from it. They are dropping these passes soon, and what these passes are going to be, you're gonna be able to stake them on their brand new staking platform. So if you wouldn't mind showing that, Yago.
Yeah, the you want me to show the website?
So yeah, so the website changed a little bit, just so everyone knows. The old one will not work, btc.fluidtokens.com. But if you just go to fluidtokens.com, you can now, once you connect your wallet, either it takes you to Cardano or it takes you to Bitcoin, which is phenomenal because now it's not two websites no more, it's just the one.
Well, the BTC website actually works, so it probably
Oh, does
redirects
it?
you.
Okay.
Yeah, it redirects you. But let me show you, show the community here what we're talking about. So if you go to fluidtokens.com here and you click on launch app, then you pull up the app and you can pick Bitcoin or Cardano, right? So you go back to that slider, or you could just close here, and then you can. It already defaulted me to Bitcoin. So I guess, yeah, it is a different URL. It's app.fluidtokens.market. Sorry, app.fluidtokens.com/markets. And then you can see here, right? You can connect your wallet. We recommend using the Xverse wallet. But yeah, so the snapshot was taken, guys. Thank you guys for interacting, participating. If you were in that top 1,000 leaderboard, then you will get a Fluid pass, which is an awesome, sleek looking 3D pass. You should be able to stake that in the future. But this is actually, we just got finished talking about Fractal and stuff. Fluid is possibly a project that can simply just also be over there, because it is a UTXO chain, and they're basically duplicating Bitcoin over there. So this is something that you could see in the future. I know we've had talks with them about it. We haven't had any official decisions from their team about it, but I think it would be great for them to have their footprint over there. But anyways, yeah, so if you just wanted to connect one of your Xverse wallets to it, I don't have anything in this wallet, but I'm gonna sign in just to kind of show. You can go to the I literally think I don't have anything in this one, but let's see if it connects there.
Should still be able to connect still.
Yeah, we'll see. All right. There we go. And then you go to swap. Yeah, so no Bitcoin in this one, but you could swap for how much of your dog you want. It will swap it based off of liquidity in your for the dog token, right? So if I wanted that, and it's gonna be based off of limit order liquidity. So if there's sell limit orders in there, then it will take it directly from there and split for you. So it's really easy. It's simple to use. But more than anything, guys, I think we're just more excited about this dev team and the team in general, because they have the experience of Cardano. So imagine if they do extend their footprint to Fractal, that's going to be easy extension for them, right? Don't you think?
100%. Yeah, that's going to be something, because they already have Opcat, right? So the one issue we have here with the Fluid swap is that after you do the limit order and then I come in and I buy it, I have to wait for you to come back and sign it. With Opcat, you don't have to do that. Yagobi can sign his in the beginning saying, hey, once this person decides to buy this, automatically sign it. Here's my signature. Boom, here you go. I come on, I buy it. 10 minutes later, it's in my wallet. That solves that issue, which is huge. And that is something that I can see Fluid on Fractal being a big deal. It's going to be a really nice swap there. It's going to be very simplified. And once we get Opcat over here, it's going to be way better on L1 as well. You don't have to deal with any type of anyone holding the funds, because it is non-custodial. They do not hold the funds. You set the limit order, it stays in your wallet, never leaves your wallet, so you can always cancel that limit order whenever you want. And you can, even if you go and you buy something with it, it'll automatically cancel that limit order because you no longer have that Bitcoin that you said you did. So when the person goes in to sign it, it'll say, it can't be signed because there's no Bitcoin anymore. So, and that's kind of the best part about Fluid and what they're doing is this non-custodial.
Yep. And here's just a little sneak preview of something that could possibly be on the way. You can see here's a staking options here. I don't want to leave it up there too long. Just wanted to
can you hit F11?
Let me see. Yeah, I can hit F11, but this definitely, there's some changes that need to be made as well. But this is the cool part is that, they do have like integration type partnerships. And I believe Xverse is one of those, but we'll wait a little bit longer until, they are ready to give you guys more details about it. But it's exciting, right? So you can have exposure to them if you wanted to get into the Cardano side, because they are going to have a Runes token announced soon to where it's going to be one-to-one bridging over and back and forth, right? So I think it's good that they have that experience with a built-out UTXO chain already, especially with the smart contract stuff that, like I mentioned, if they do decide to increase their footprint to Fractal, it's going to be a smooth transition. I'm really pushing for that because, having them as a DEX on there would be awesome.
Well, think about it this way too. Like, let's just say, because obviously we know that they're transitioning from a Cardano token to a Runes token. They're actually just bridging it over, right? So we're going to have a Fluid token that is a one-to-one with FLDT. FLDT is trading on exchanges like MEXC right now. It is their Cardano token. So we're going to have the Fluid version of that, and then we can bridge that to Fractal and now have a Fractal version of the Cardano token of the Rune. That's phenomenal, right? It's definitely something. So now, not holding that token gets you exposure to Fractal, gets you exposure to Bitcoin and Cardano in the same token. So that is something that I am definitely looking into. That's not financial advice. I'm not telling you guys to go buy anything. I never do. I'm just telling you what I'm doing personally. And so that could be something they do as well. They could potentially stake their token in that same vault type of system that they have. So it's really cool. There's so many possibilities, and that's the reason why we partnered with them, is because we are so bullish on them, and we want to accumulate as much of their stuff as possible, because it's the same thing. But that's how I am with utility though. I want to get as many utility. Like I got Liquidium, I have Fluid, I have I want to get every liquidity, every utility token on Bitcoin. I think that is stupid not to have.
Yeah, that's a great way to kind of spread your bets, right? Not financial advice, but look, I actually love how our ecosystem has played out in terms of your conviction. Do you have it? Has it died down? Yeah. Did you ever have it? Because I'll tell you what, if you're not in the space every day and you started off thinking that like the Bitcoin ecosystem, DeFi, whatever you want to call it, on-chain economy, scaling out was going to be the main narrative. And then you went through the bumps and bruises of high times, low times, and we're back in a low time and you fell off. I could see, if you're not in it every day, why maybe that would have happened. But that's, what the previous cycle for Ethereum people went through, right? Like 2019, 18, 19, leading up into the bull market. And for us, we haven't changed our conviction. I wouldn't say like it hasn't, been dented or anything, but we've never lost our conviction in it. And it's showing now. Look for the subtle indicators, like Coinbase, man, they're now starting to talk about cbBTC, and they invested in SatFlow. That's a huge deal. Yeah. Binance investing in Unisat. We're not convicted, the only ones convicted anymore. These larger entities are starting to build up their conviction, and they're showing you. But there's a lot of other chains that are distracting everybody for quick liquidity. Yep. Solana, Base, blah, 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 blah. We have stayed consistent, and most of you guys have as well, because we got 317 people in here right now on a Friday.
That's not normal, guys. That's not normal at all. Shout out to Francis.
Well, not during the slower time period.
Well,
But
that's what I mean. For the last couple of weeks, I mean, I think we barely got over 200 on a Friday. Monday, it's weird. Mondays seem to we get like 400. I mean, obviously on Merlin Mondays we get usually 700. But like it's by the end of the week, everyone's so done with it. I'm just like, I'll just wait till Monday. But we appreciate you guys for hanging out with us, man. We're gonna be live. I'm gonna be back to my normal self, my normal setup. I can't wait for my green screen and my microphone and my camera and all my cool stuff that I've accumulated over the years. So appreciate you guys hanging out with us. Let's get some Q&A.
yeah, let's try to. We're gonna do some Q&A here. We're gonna get through, some of these. Obviously, we can't get through all of them, but as many as we can. Let's see here. Ooh, that was fun having Francis on. That was really great discussion.
Yeah. I love having Francis on, man. It's so much fun.
All right.
I'm gonna starring the questions that I see.
I see you says, is it too late for me now to try the testnet for Fractal for the airdrop? So there's no announced airdrop for Fractal, but no, it won't be. And they're gonna open up testnet on block 21,000. Open it back up. You can get testnet tokens from the faucet URL, but I would say don't count on any airdrop that way. They've announced how they're doing airdrops through Sats Fund, Pump Fund, in different ways. So you got to hold certain tokens on there. So go follow Sats Fund Pump Fund. Is it Sats Pump Fund? Yeah. And you'll be able to see what they said. Let's see. Why SRC20s are dead. Stamps. Those are stamps. So yeah, I mean, they had a little run up. Look, I'm in this camp. I don't think Shizzy necessarily agrees with me. I think everything that had a community at one point has a little passage of liquidity once we're in the crazy part of the bull market. How high that goes, I don't know. Probably not much for stuff like SRC20, no offense, but in ARC22, that those kind of are in the same boat for me. But we'll see. We'll see what happens. Why are they dead? They never got the full support ever. Like at least Atomicals kind of got like 75% support of our community at one point. Stamps just didn't, and it sucks. I know, because like those guys did work hard to try to do that, but we'll see. Maybe they have something they're waiting to release. I don't know. What do you think?
The problem was there's no marketplace that I know of, right? I mean,
there was
do you
a
even trade
marketplace, but it just wasn't. No one cared, and that sucks. Like I said,
see, that's not. I might have cared if they were on something like Unisat or OKX or Magic Eden. Like if there was a place there where I went to and I could see them without having to try to see them, I might have been more interested. I think they failed at marketing.
Yeah. Mr. Sheedy says, question, can I point my USB stick miner that runs the SHA-256 at the Fractal Bitcoin? So you're going to have to upgrade your software, whatever you use for that. But once the software upgrade is there, then miners will be able to mine the FB token side by side with Bitcoin. I don't know about USB, though. That, to me, sounds kind of like the same level of like the BitBoy.
I think he means like the Raspberry Pi. So you ever see the Raspberry Pi on Bitcoin miners? I think it's something similar to that, where
like
you can run it in the pool, but you get like a few sats every day. But you can run it outside of a pool and hope to get lucky. You might have a good lucky shot in FB if they run the same kind of software, where you might wake up and get a few $1,000s worth of FB in that thing by just running a few Raspberry Pis. I don't know. Could be something to look into. They're cheap too.
See what else we got here.
I love this guy. Shout out to Wonder Shorts. Shizzy's mind is sharp as fuck. Let's go. My mind is not sharp as fuck, but I thank you for that anyway. I got a couple of Francis questions. What kind of microphone is Francis using? Something phenomenal, Mr.
I know, he sounds so clear. All right. Last question here is why RN_Julian do the track licenses stack interest?
So you get an APY of 15% APY of tap tokens. That's no interest. So you're not earning any track. you're just getting the 15% APY. But we'll like that's the question is like, what do you? So right now the next validator license is 1,000 tracked, right? So if I buy 1,000 tracked, am I getting the 400? You know what I mean? Like they don't know where I bought it or how much APY I'm getting. So I think that getting them so early like we did, and we just only got the one. But like, what am I? How much am I gonna? I'm thinking I'm gonna make like my $400 back, very quickly, right? So I don't know.
Yeah, exactly. All right, guys, what a great Friday show. If you guys have a moment, please check out our partners, BitPerp, the premium DEX for the Bitcoin Layer 2 ecosystem that will be launching in Q4 on Botonix. Paper trading competitions coming up in the next 2 to 3 weeks. We'll inform you guys when that happens. Ordinal Hive, the blur of Bitcoin building on Merlin chain. It's open to the public, beta.ordinalhive.io. Go interact with it, earn points. It is very similar to Blur. So you know what happened with Blur points. Fluid tokens, we just spoke about them. Those guys are super talented. Congrats to the people that did qualify for that top 1,000 that are going to get the pass. Those are going to be precious in my opinion. Not financial advice, but we'll update you as much as possible if they decide to scale to Fractal, because I think that would be a huge move for them. You can check them out with their Twitter and their website there, and then also Verothium Dex, which is actually really focusing on trying to bring more utility to BRC 420s. From what I'm hearing, the blue box is coming up, the Dragon Balls, the music box, right? And those are just the next little phase here for single staking. You can go go to their Discord. You can find the URL. They are on Merlin chain. It is a Bitcoin Layer 1 asset focused DEX. And that is it for the partners.
Yeah, so check out ordinalrevolution.com as well. We had some of the best articles there. We got articles, guys, going all the way back to last year. So go check them out. If you know someone new entering the space, send them our website. I feel like it can really help them get started. And also, if you don't mind checking out our merch, we have some of the best merch there. You go to ordinalrevolution.com, click store. Then you can see everything that we have. We're going to be adding new stuff as well. So look out for that. And guys, we're live Monday to Friday, 11 a.m. Eastern, 10 a.m. Central, 8 a.m. Pacific, and 4 p.m. UTC. So check us out all next week. It's going to be very normal again. It's going to feel like it always does. So we thank you guys for dealing with me this week. And I hope you guys are enjoying your families like I have this week. So definitely do something for them. Summer's almost over. And that's the show, guys. We'll see you Monday.
Peace.
We OG, or no G. You're not bullish enough, yeah. Oh no, you're not bullish enough. You ain't got the or no. I get stoned by the bolo. Bitcoin set to overload, yeah. Experts on reload, yeah. You're not bullish enough, yeah. Oh no, you're not bullish enough. You ain't got the or no. I get stoned by the bolo. Bitcoin set to overload. Experts on reload. Mempool getting hot. Everybody wanna rock, ayy. Runes is coming, everybody on a knot, ayy. It's a nuisance, Ordinal Revolution, ayy. Ordinal Revolution. Yo, it's my guy for real, bro. Got friends right now. Yo, BRC 420, bro. Yo, that shit on fire, bro. Imagine if he in here. Yeah, like it in the seal. Murder. I got balls of steel. Nuki on the field. Yeah, this shit for real. With no calls, I get so far. Got 100 phone calls that I go hard, and they gon' love me. Smoke weed, huddle back. I get shiesty. Where my Bitcoin looking lovely. All this Satoshi's nothing above me.